Hey everyone, so I'm going to share a little bit more about the year 1998. So I've been going through my photos and that's what I've got set aside here. Well, anyways, just an update on what's going on in the moment. So I've been working at Sweet Peaks and part-time at Papa John's, and they've been so slow. I've just sort of had them put me on hold, and then I put in an extra day up in Hungry Horse at Huckland. So um, gives me a 6-day work week, and I'm really trying to make as much money as I can, as much as I can physically handle working to make the money, right? So at the same time, trying to use the rest of my time to keep sorting out the house and stuff. I've kind of put some of that on hold to just work because it's been exhausting. I was working a lot more like last fall and just exhausting. So now I feel like I've got a lot more energy to spare, so I've been able to make more videos. And anyways, can't remember the last time I did a video on this subject. It's been about a week or so because I think I've just been kind of burned out, and if I don't feel energetic enough, I don't make a video. So if I haven't been making videos, probably burned out. And I tried to do this on a good day. Like today, I only had to work at the ice cream shop, so I still have a little energy left. Anyways, I have some Polaroids. I forgot that these were probably from '97. Looking at these, it looks like probably like before my dad came down. He came to Denver for Christmas that year, and I managed to make a Christmas dinner. And so I was really trying to let my hair grow so it had like that angle and the long bangs, and maybe I had an undercut at the same time. I don't know, but that looks like before when I had less hair. So that could have been even 1996, but I must have been using the same camera or something. Just wanted to share those quickly because maybe I hadn't. Just some of the Polaroids I had in this pile here. I think this next group, though, shows 1998 a little bit more. So I was thinking I may have mentioned 97 into 98. I ended up working at Total, and then later on, Jeremy and I ended up working at I don't know if it was Texaco or a different gas station. But this is my friend Jeremy, and I think my first couple years I was hanging out with a guy named Doug. I may have mentioned him in my last video, and that's how I met Jeremy. They were going to the art school and living at the dorms. And I think around that time, maybe 98, 99, my mom had a place she was staying in Texas, and she had her own little purple truck, and she had a bird she was taking care of. So I thought that was exciting because I've always wanted one of those big birds. And I was thinking into summer 98, that's probably when we did that trip to we went up to Nebraska with my friend Gregory Horner. So I don't have any other picture. There's this one tiny little picture where you can barely see him, but he and I had done a lot of training together. So there was a few guys that I made friends with from the Shaolin Center that I would hang out with and train with, and that's because we all smoked pot, you know. Anyways, there's another picture, probably from a Polaroid that I don't know why I snipped it out like that, but I thought those were cool, so I kept them. And me and my parrot Captain, so I know that's 98 because that Frontline Assembly album came out, and one of my favorite t-shirts, yay! I want to talk about 98 because I want to, I don't know, be careful. Try to slow down here and don't forget anything. It seemed like an action-packed year for me. So one of my hopes in well, I shouldn't say coming, but when I moved to Denver from Key West, I was really hoping to be able to start a band or start a project or do something with music. And part of the reason I went to Denver is because my dad's good friend Kelly moved there. So we knew these people up in Michigan that were all wanting to make like underground music, like the kind I grew up with. And I thought if I moved to Denver that they'd help me get started. Well, Kelly moved away, and then I started focusing more on martial arts, and made friends with that kung fu master. And I think I talked about him a lot more on my last video, and how I was kind of bummed out because I was thinking maybe I could make a career of martial arts, and if I could have the right friendship with the masters and we like each other, I'll definitely stick with those guys. But because there's plenty of training out there, and I thought Master Tay was special, but it seemed like he just likes to mess around or something. Like it's really hard to figure it out. Like, he seems like a pretty real and sincere kind of person, but at the same time, I think he enjoys it's like a power trip to me. In my opinion, I think it's a power trip when guys want to have lots of girlfriends, or something like that. Anyways, I'm not really sure if we have a friendship or if we ever did, but anyways, I went through that whole thing, and so I was kind of coming back to the idea of music. And now living in Denver, I've had some funny experiences, and I think that ties in with my my visionary state stories that I tell in my other playlist I call the Jody Vision. And so one of the weird things that happened when I very first moved to Denver, so I'm thinking I'm standing outside the bus station in like 95, and this guy comes up to me, and he asks me if I believe in magic, and he shows me this little magic trick, and I was pretty, I don't know, I just couldn't figure out what he did. Like, he had this little wand and he made it change colors, and it was kind of a dumb little trick. But aside from that, I think he had a little message for me. He said, living here in Denver, you're going to learn a lot about magic. And I just thought, he's just an entertainer. I didn't think much of it. But later on, I remembered him because I think as I was going into 98 and 99, and then into the 2000, I was seeing more like paranormal stuff in my life. So kind of an interesting time. So I'm going to do some stories in the other playlist, the Jody Vision, to talk more about the paranormal stuff. But in the meantime, I wanted to go to see Frontline Assembly because I thought I remembered Bill Lieb from where I grew up in the Florida Keys. And since my dad's friend moved away, I was really hoping that he remembered me. I was really hoping on it. It just seemed like nothing else was working out for me. So I'm thinking 98, I had turned 23. And trying to think, before that concert, I'd written a letter and stuff. I think, I got the inclination to contact him, and I really didn't want to have to write a letter. I hate writing letters and just wonder, what the hell they're going to think. But anyway, so I went to the show, and I think that Bill Lieb was aware of me because they had received the letter. And so that's the next picture I was going to show, so that's why I wanted to bring that up. Here we are. I got these right here. I figure we'll do it like this. That's the place. So Wax Trax Records. This was the original Wax Trax Records, and then they opened up a second location in Chicago. Like a long time ago. I'm thinking this place must have been there since at least the late 70s. I really don't know how far back it goes, but Wax Trax Records in Chicago in the 80s created a record label. So we listened to a lot of music like Frontline Assembly that, I don't know if they were really on Wax Trax, mostly a lot of music like this though. So living near this record store was totally awesome. And by the way, when the band came here, they had an autograph signing here, so that's why we had this picture. Okay, I'm gonna turn it upside down. And there's me and my haircut. Like, I think I had like a half hawk, like it wasn't exactly an undercut. It was almost like maybe a teardrop or something. And like a silver beaded necklace. And I think you could see the very top of Chris Peterson's head. Oh no, and Bill Lieb's head too. Now my friend Ralph lived upstairs, and he was a photographer, so we had him along to take these pictures for us. Unfortunately, he had a nice picture of Bill Lieb, like straight up, and I don't have that picture anywhere but in my phone, so I can't share that one. And that's the back of my head. See, I always wanted a mohawk, but this was like the next best thing, I guess. Trying to think there, I could see a little bit of Bill Lieb right there. Okay, so another shot of my hairdo. And then there's the band member. So Bill Lieb is the head of Frontline Assembly, and that's his partner at the time, Chris Peterson. All right, so gee, I guess that's all I have out of those. So, anyways, that was an exciting night. So I didn't get any pictures of the concert and stuff, but so my friend Chris Smith was there, and his girlfriend Heidi was there, and we all went to the show. And so after the show, we all went over to a place called the Netherworld. It's like a bar with people that listen to goth music, and so the goth scene and the industrial scene are just kind of merged together. So, but everything seems to be more geared towards the goths. Seems like it's more popular than industrial. It just sort of merged together. So I've always had the joke that the goth scene is where industrial music went to die. It was kind of how I felt. When I moved to Denver, I was really wanting to get into industrial music, but it seems like it was too late. Like it, in theory, was a thing of the past. Like according to those artists, it ended sometime in the '80s when the industrial music record label closed down. They kind of considered that to be more of a concept and an element. So from then on, you would say a lot of this music is what you call like hybrid, like industrial mixed with rock or industrial mixed with techno or whatever else. And usually it's kind of both, it's more like techno rock and has the element industrial and different types of vocals coming in on there. And so like Frontline Assembly, like instead of singing like a regular person, these people sing like they do voices and stuff. Skinny Puppy, it all sounds like voices. Like these people watch a lot of horror movies and sci-fi, and so it's almost like if you took all that type of cinema and mixed it with music, right? So the vocals, the concepts, the effects and everything. So I love this music, and at the moment I thought maybe I should go meet this person, and I should join their band if we make friends. And he seemed kind of interested in me, but there were all these people there trying to be like, don't talk to Jody, she's crazy or something, right? And so we kind of had a bad night because of that. It seemed like Bill would have been interested if these people weren't like warning him about me. So I went home crying basically. I thought Bill Lee said that we could all meet up. We could have a party at my house if we wanted, and I'm like, well, I don't really have much of a place, but I invited him to come anyways. And then and his wife came up and introduced herself to me, but she didn't tell me she was his wife. I thought she just was working for the band, and I thought he was inviting us to their hotel room, like he was trying to tell us where to go. So I started going down there, and then I got uninvited by the other guy, like I was showing you. Yeah, he had that partner. So Bill's partner told me I'm not allowed to go there, and it just turned into like, what the fuck, So yeah, it was kind of like I felt like 98. I felt like kind of had a falling out with my kung fu master because I just felt like I had to cancel that plan. Actually, I was still in kung fu off and on. It took me until 99 to officially drop out, and then but I felt like after meeting Bill Lieb and it just seemed like he was hanging out with the people. I think they're like the fashion snobs, so that's how I saw it at the time. I just felt like, this whole music scene sucks, so I felt like this actually important because like I was saying, I felt like I came to Denver to try to make music, and I felt like that's a big part of why I put all that on hold. I've been just sort of like stuck, like my dad's friend Kelly left because he didn't like that music scene anymore. And then I was figuring out, okay, yeah, I see what's going on here. It's not a really good music scene, but martial arts, I felt like I had much better rapport with people at martial arts, so I did eventually go back to Kung Fu later and stuff like that. But yeah, I was kind of in limbo for a while. They're like, I don't know what I should be focusing on. And this was a really depressing year. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I felt like I wasted too much time going to Kung Fu, and I wasted too much time focusing on this area of music. So anyways, Couple more pictures I want to share. To see my dad. Here we go. That's the Christmas of '98. I feel like my dad's he's the one that discovered industrial music in our household and brought it to us, and so I grew up listening to that kind of music. And so he has his Psychic TV shirt on, and I've got my Frontline Assembly shirt on. And then I think this next one is him and actually me and his girlfriend. So his girlfriend Dale, I think he was with her off and on, I don't know, was it between 98 and 2005 maybe? So actually spent a long time together. So yeah, so I think that's all I've got to share from, man, I don't think I have anything else. But 98, man, so 98, I think I went down to Florida for Christmas that time, and trying to think, so I went by myself that time. Then in 99, I took my friend Chris. So I'll talk about 98. I feel like that, seeing my family in 98, 99 is the last time we had Christmas and able to go over to my grandma's house where she lived on that canal and stuff. So that's kind of where we spent an important part of my childhood, going over to my grandma's house. So in 98, I think I had a really good talk with my grandma, and she filled me in on a lot of things about, like my parents' relationship and how they got together. So that's how I know, like at least her side of the story. Like, it was sort of like I was an accident. The birth control failed. So according to her, my parents probably wouldn't have gotten married if I hadn't been conceived. But according to my dad, they were already married, so I don't know who to believe. All I know is I grew up watching my mom and dad fight, so at this point they had been divorced, and now he had a new girlfriend at the time. Stayed in touch with my mom the whole time nonetheless, as I guess those guys are really true friends no matter how much they've been through. But yeah, going down to 98, I think I had a long talk with my grandma alone. And then my cousin Stephen, he apologized to me. He found out we weren't related, so he tried to ask me to be his girlfriend and stuff like it, all this type of thing. I had mentioned some of the, one of the things we got caught, and he knew I used to get in trouble for chasing the ducks, and he caught me chasing the big white duck through the yard, and it jumped in the canal. And he threatened to tell on me. But he apologized for that incident, so he was trying to do something sexual, which is kind of fucked up because, I mean, that's a really big thing to apologize for something like that instead of just slough it under the carpet, that type of thing. So we had an important talk, and but yeah, my dad was still living in that house, so I dream about these places quite a bit too. So at night when I'm sleeping and I have these wandering dreams, a lot of times I'll go to where I grew up at, at my grandma's house. So to me, I love to remember this because it's like there's no turning back. Like she moved to Fort Lauderdale, and since then she's passed away, and my family has moved up to Ocala, and some of which are in my sister's over in Orlando area. So they've all evacuated except my cousin Carrie's still down there. So 98 and 99, I'm going to talk a lot about that. I figured I'd do a separate video for these years just because, 98, I think I worked at that gas station Total with Jeremy. He kind of got me the job. We were working overnight, and then I ended up working at a place called Josh and John Scoopin' Ice Cream. That's where I got my best training. At the same time, I was working for that lampshade guy, and we were making these really cool rustic-looking lamps. I think I brought that up in my last video, and I'm trying to think. I just got super depressed and quit working for a while. And I'm trying to think what happened that year is that the jobs that I had, I think I ended up working at the pizza shop. Because I remember, doing that lampshade job through the summer, because after work, sometimes I would go meet with my friend Greg over at Confluence Park. It was just like where Cherry Creek met the Platte River, and we'd go swimming there and stuff. And so I'm thinking after that, that's when I got the job at that pizza shop working with those guys from like North Africa. Like I think there might have been one from Morocco, one from Libya, mostly Libyan guys. But my friend Jason and Scott were working over there, and I think that's how I got the job. And I had a friend that was doing these going online, and like it was like you're some you could like just go on and talk about sex, like kind of like being live, and people could type to you, and I heard it made a lot of money, so I tried that, and I didn't make any money. It was called imsosexy.com. So cuz that ties in with my memories of 98, because it was around the time I was working at that pizza shop. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I want to go on too long. Of course, I got lots of different stories and stuff, but maybe another time. But I think 98 was a really colorful year. I think I have to bring up that my friend Scott and Jason were also living over at the Art and Action building. And down in the basement, they had, I think that's where they had Temple of Psychic Youth, and they had a little record shop, and people like Chris and Cozy would visit there. Psychic TV came there. And so Scott ended up renting that downstairs basement, and he was kind of not. You're not supposed to live there; it's supposed to be studio space. But he was living there, and I think Jason was kind of living up in his studio, but he also lived at his parents' house. And I don't know. We had some fun times. I think that went on for a couple of years, and then 98, man, what a year! Let me tell you, right? And it only gets better after this. So that's the year I turned 23, and so I think I was just really depressed because all my ideas, like I thought, oh, I'll make martial arts for a living, or do martial arts for a living, and I just felt like I couldn't carry on with Master Tay and them. So although I really appreciate Master Dave and Sharon, I think they're great people and they're doing an excellent job, and Master Tay's actually done a great job overall too by sharing out the system that they've got. And at the same time, Bill Lieb, I kind of met Bill Lieb at a funky time in his life, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And so to me, I feel like Frontline Assembly, like my favorite part of their career was probably late 80s into mid 90s, and then we got late 90s into 2000 that their band changed. So I was meeting them right at that time where it seemed like they were really changing, and I was really disheartened to find that I don't really like the music scene in Denver, and I didn't really like the experience I had meeting Frontline Assembly. But anyways, just to wrap it up, I just wanted to share some of I don't have pictures for everything, so I might end up telling some stories later on where there's no pictures, but, for this occasion, I happen to have lots of pictures, and then later in life, most of my pictures are in my phone, so I have to figure out a way to get those out of my phone. Anyway, so thanks for watching. If you appreciate hearing about my life and you're watching it at this point, you're awesome, and you must be my friend. High five if you're still watching. Appreciate it. Have a great day.